Hey, this is Mrs. Smeckens, and we've been learning a lot about how our reading voice and thinking voice talk to each other. We've learned a lot about how they work during reading. And we've even talked about in the last lesson series how your thinking voice still talks to you after reading, helps you figure out the summary, the main idea. Okay, well, in this lesson series, I want to talk about another way your thinking voice will whisper. And in this lesson series, we're going to talk about how it can whisper in questions. Now, I am not just talking about that readers ask questions and find answers because the end of the chapter has 4 questions. I'm not talking about the questions your teacher asks in the middle of reading in the classroom. I'm talking about real readers ask questions of their own reading to find the answers all by themselves. This is normal. And if you're not asking questions as a reader, you're just doing the reading. You're not going to understand it at all, people. It's not going to make any sense. No, you've got to lean in. You've got to be engaged. This is what readers do. They wonder while they read. Okay, I acknowledge that it's really hard to be engaged about text when you didn't get to pick it. It's really hard to be engaged about text that was assigned that's not interesting. But you know what? Welcome to the real world, people. I read all the time. All the time. I got to read tax forms. I don't want to read that. I got to read insurance policies. I don't care 2 hoots about that. And yet, if I'm not leaning in, questioning, wondering, trying to figure out what things mean, I'm not going to understand it when I'm done. So, hey, it's the real world. Fake it till you make it. You don't have to love what you're reading. You don't have to be really that interested in what you're reading. But if you aren't leaning in and wondering while you're doing the reading, you're not going to understand it when you're done. You wasted all of that time. Okay, now, I also want to acknowledge that you guys do this unique type of questioning. There are different types of questions. That's what this series is all about. We're going to talk about different questions that your thinking voice will whisper. And this first one is all about the preview, how readers preview, wonder before they even start reading the first paragraph. They're asking questions. And you guys do this. You almost always ask one question before you start reading something. Even if you don't ask it out loud, you ask it of yourself. And your question is, how long is this? And so you flip through the pages or you scroll through it and you're trying to quickly figure out, how long is this going to be? How long is it going to take me? Well, you know what? That's part of a preview. You should know how long it is. Is it going to take you 20 minutes or is it going to take you a month? How long is this going to take? But there's so many more questions. The abundance of questions, the types of questions, it's huge. I want to teach you, how in the world do I ask questions before I read, Mrs. Smeckens, when I'm reading stuff I don't care about? All right, fair. All right, so the thing I want you to understand about previewing the text, and before I put it up there, is that previews or pre-reading, you might call it pre-reading, have 2 parts. You have to do 2 things when you pre-read, okay? And the first part has to do with the little mask that the icon is wearing there, kind of like that burglar's mask, right? A thief. Let's think about thieves and burglars. They don't just go into a mansion. They don't just break into a building. What do they do first? They survey it, right? They stake out the joint. They're checking things out. They're looking, they're seeing. So what time has everybody gone? So which side of the building is most concealed? So is that door ever unlocked? Yeah, that's what readers do. Okay, now I'm not advocating for a life of crime, you guys, all right? But let's take this metaphor a little further. Let's be information thieves. You're not stealing jewelry and money, but readers, before they read, they steal information. Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah. You want me to put it on? I'll put it on. Here we go. This is what readers do. Readers preview the text. Before they start reading the first paragraph, they steal as much information as they can. That's the first step of pre-reading. It's not a question. It's an action. You're going to use your reading voice and you're going to steal as much as the author, the publisher, the source gives you. Where do I steal this information? The title, the subheads, the visuals, the captions. Anything they give you that's not body paragraph, anything that your eyes see and jumps out at you, I want you to lean in and read it. I want you to steal that information. I know about this. I know about this. It's telling me this, it's telling me this, because this is how you get to asking questions before you read. You don't just look at the title and what do you want to know? That's fair. I wouldn't have anything to want to know either. You don't know what it's about, so you don't know what your questions might be. So the pre-read has 2 steps, and the first step is first steal information. But then step 2 brings us to the actual questions before we read. This brings us to the thinking voice. So what do you wonder? So what do you predict? You saw that, you read that. What's it making you think? What do you question? Your questions come after you steal information. All right, so as we're looking at this concept here, let me add this to our chart. So a preview has 2 parts to it. First, you've got to steal, like a bank robber, like a thief. You got to just first kind of check out things and steal as much information as you can. What do you know? But then you've got to think about it. So how's that going to help you? So what if, and how about, and then you start to get to your questions. You start to survey. You start to use that information to ask questions, to wonder, to make predictions. Predictions are questions. They are. They're just in a statement form. Okay, so let me kind of show you how this works, you guys. And let me do it first with the notion of a text that I'll put up. I'll show it to you, and I want you to see how my 2 voices work together and get captured here on Miss Linder's silhouette head. Remember this? Remember, reading voice details are out here on green. Information that I gathered, in our case, stole. Details you can see and steal from text features. That goes on the outside. But then the thinking voice has to think, survey, wonder, question, predict about those details, and those thoughts go on the inside. Yeah, they go on the inside. Okay, so let me show you this in action. All right, I've got a passage here from Newsella, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply what I just told you, and I'm going to do the 2 steps for the. So the first step is use my reading voice and steal as much information as I can. All right, well, I always start with the title, so I'm going to go up here to the top, okay, and I read, "Who could hate Goodnight Moon? This powerful New York librarian." So I just, it's note-taking. Don't write sentences, people. It's note-taking. Goodnight Moon, she hates it, all right? And I know it's a powerful New York librarian. I'm guessing this photo over here is her. It's a black and white photo telling me she's old. Okay, I read the caption. It says, "Black and white portrait of Anne Carroll Moore, who invented children's libraries." All right, got it. So I jotted down Goodnight Moon hate. Boom. I jotted down powerful New York librarian. This is in the olden times, the old photo. Okay, now let's slide over. Oh, that's Goodnight Moon. Oh, that book. Yeah, I kind of remember that when I was a kid. Cover of the children's picture. I'm reading the caption. Cover of the children's picture book, Goodnight Moon. Got it. Okay, so now I zoom out, see what else the author or source gave me. Well, I've got some subheads here. Let's take note of those. Remember, I'm not thinking, I'm just stealing. I'm just using my reading voice. And I read, introduce children to libraries. Write it down. All right, just use abbreviations, you guys. Intro, children, libraries. Got it. Boom. All right, then I see in the bottom right-hand corner, negative reviews could ruin a book. Negative reviews, not good for a book. Got it. Boom. Write it down, slap it up there. All right, now I'm going to jump right away to the next page. Yeah, this was 2 pages. See this third subhead, word spread parent to parent. Got it, word spread parents. Boom. Just stealing. All I'm doing right now is stealing what's obvious. All right, there's also a photo here. Let me zoom in on this photo of this really very green room. What do we got going on here? All right, people sitting on a floor. It's obviously a fake. It's like a setup. I don't know. Okay, let me read this. Gwendolyn Zeke, read a children's book in an exhibit called The ABC of It, Why Children's Books Matter, New York Public Library. Okay, setting is from Goodnight Moon. Interesting. Setting to Goodnight Moon exhibit, New York Public Library. Got it. Boom. This is the information that I stole. Okay, you guys, this is what readers do. But remember, all I've done so far is step 1. And step 1 is when I wear my mask and I steal. Now I think. Now I survey and think about what I stole. So now I'm going to look up here and I'm going to question, I'm going to predict, I'm going to wonder, I'm going to anticipate based on these details. This is how you get questions. You need to first have something to wonder about. Okay, so first you got to steal, then you question. All right, so good night, Moon, and she hated it. And I'm thinking why she hated it. More specifically, what about it did she hate? All right, so I'm jotting that down. That goes inside the head because it's my thinking voice. Powerful librarian, New York. And I'm wondering, who gave her all this power? Why is she so powerful? Why are we all listening to her? Okay, and so why does she have so much power? Why are we listening to her? These are the thoughts that I'm having. You've got to pause and think about that. Good night, Moon, New York Public Library. All right, the exhibit. I'm not having any thoughts. Okay, it's kind of just a fact. You don't have to have a thought, a question for every detail. That's all right. Okay, but I come over here and I read introduced children to libraries. Introduced them, children weren't allowed to go to the library? Man, teachers are always forcing books and passages into kids' hands, trying to get us to read. And kids weren't even allowed. She had to introduce them. Why were they not allowed? That's a huge question burning in my mind. All right, negative reviews, heard a book. Well, no duh. I don't really have a question about that. Totally makes sense. All right, I expect I'm going to read about how she didn't like it. And yeah, I'm not having a question. No problem. All right, word spread by parent to parent. Okay, so I'm wondering, so then did the parents overtake this lady? And so did people actually convince her to like this book? So did she ever come to like it? Oh, that's a question. All right, you see what we're doing here? All right, now when readers preview a text, pre-read a text, they do these kinds of things. And in this process, they first steal details and then they think about them. But you have to understand that there are times that the text doesn't have much to steal. Look at your screen now. Here's another article from Newsella, okay? And some informational text only gives you a title. Some only gives you a title and maybe a photo and a caption. There are no subheads. There's nothing else. It's very much just long paragraphs. Okay, you know what? Literature works like this. Novels, chapter books, you got a title. You don't even have chapter titles anymore. It just says chapter 4. And so there's not a lot to steal. So steal when you can. But if you can't steal much, if you only have 1 or 2 details, again, okay, what do you expect? You still want to think going into it. You should be thinking, what's this about? The main idea, even before you start reading. This is normal. This is what readers do. Okay, so as we go into this next example, I want you to do it with me. So I'm going to take down these details because obviously these were for previewing the example I did. Now I want you to help me. And we're going to do something else this time. And what I want to do is honor the fact that preview shouldn't take long. I mean, we're talking like 2 minutes, 90 seconds. Set a timer. That's what you do. You just steal as much as you can quickly. All right? Yes, you are going to look and see how long it is. That's one of the things you're going to do in the 2 minutes. But then steal information that helps you generate questions, okay? So Miss Smecken's got her timer here, and she's going to go ahead and start a 2-minute clock, and we're going to do this together, all right? I'll show it to you here now. All right, so famous speeches, Steve Jobs, Stanford University commencement speech. Okay, what do you see? What can you steal? Don't write all that. What would you write on a sticky note? Okay, it's a speech. Steve Jobs, who's he talking to? Stanford grads. Got it. Stanford grad speech, Steve Jobs. Boom. All right. So now let's zoom in on this photo. Zoom in on, don't read the caption yet. Just look at the photo. What can you get from the photo? I see an iPhone. I see the Apple logo. I know that's Steve Jobs. All right. Got it. Okay. Now let's look at the caption. Look more closely at that caption down there. Okay. January 9th, 2007. Steve Jobs holds up Apple phone. First iPhone unveiled. This was the day. Ooh, 2007, first iPhone. Yeah, you could write down January 9th, 2007. Got it. iPhone. Apple CEO, 2007, first iPhone. Okay, now we zoom out. Let's see what else we've got. Any more photos? Nope. Oop, but I got a subhead. So let's look at that. The first story is about connecting dots. All right? So you don't have to think about it yet. Just write it down. But don't write that whole thing. How could you say that zippier? First story? Connect dots. Good. Got it. Boom. Right there. All right. So now let's zoom out and see if we have any more subheads. Nope. Next page. Okay. Oop, 2 more subheads. Here we go. My second story is about love and loss. All right. Second story, love, loss. Good. I didn't even write love, heart. Come on. Just faster, right? It's note taking, you guys. Text message spelling, abbreviations. Be fast. Bottom right-hand corner. What do you see? Subhead. Third story, death. Yep, that's what I'd write. All right. Oh my gosh, look, it's not the end there. Keep going. Next. Okay, I see no subheads, no pictures, but my eye goes to that bottom right-hand corner where we just have these straggling things. Let's look at those. What do they say? What do they say? Stay hungry, stay foolish. That's weird. I'm going to write it down because I noticed it. Hey, look at that. 2 minutes. Time is up. Boom. 2 minutes, you guys. You previewed the text, takes 2 minutes. That's it. That's all you do. Okay, so now wait a minute. We're not done. We're not done because remember, when we pre-read or preview, we need to have both voices engaged. So far, all we've done is steal. All right. Oh, I didn't put my mask on. Sorry about that. All right. But now we have to think about it. Now this is where you wonder. This is how you get questions before you read. Okay. Don't wait for your teacher to ask you. She's not going to be with you your whole life. He's not going to be asking questions every time you got to read an insurance form when you're 40. All right. So come on now. Let's think about this. What question do you have knowing Steve Jobs is giving a graduation speech? And that's what this article is about. What question do you have? What do you wonder? What do you talk about? That's what I wonder. What topic? And I'm even going to predict. Is he giving them advice? Is he inspiring and motivating? Is he talking about how to be successful? So not only do I ask a question, I even make some predictions. Maybe. I don't know. All right. Okay. iPhone, Apple CEO, first iPhone, 2007. He's holding up the phone. I see that. And you know he's writing about a commencement speech. What are you thinking? Is he going to talk about tech? Is he going to talk about the future of tech? Yep. I don't know. That's a good question, though. So now we're reading with a purpose. We're reading to find out. What did he talk about? And did it have anything to do with tech? All right. First story about connecting the dots. All right. So he's talking about 3 different parts, right? First, second, third story. But let's just look at connecting the dots. What do you suppose dots means? Yeah, I don't know either, but guess, predict. Connect people, big events, different jobs. Yeah. People, events, tragedies, milestones, career. Good. Second story, love and loss. Okay, come on, you guys. Yeah, what's he going to talk about with love or loss? That you don't care about that. Everybody talks about that. What do you want to know about? He's going to say you should love everybody and loss makes it stronger. That's not a riveting question. What do you want to know? He's going to talk about it. What do you want to know? Is he going to say anything new? Is he going to say anything different? Or is he going to say the same thing everybody else does? Yeah, that is a question that gets you leaning in, wondering, looking for the answer. Third story, death. Okay, what about death? Yes, but more, now predict it. All right, so what about death is he going to, and so he might, what could be some possible predictions? He'll talk about cheating death, okay? Live like it's your last day. Good, all right. What is he going to say something different than other people? Good. All right. Now, stay hungry. Stay foolish. Remember, those were the little words at the end. They just kind of stood out to us. Stay hungry, stay foolish. What do you suppose those mean? Predict. Do you think hungry is literal? Maybe. If it wasn't, what might it mean? What about foolish? He just ends with that. I'm wondering, did he say those things earlier? And so now he's just ending with it as a reminder? These are all great questions. All of those can be written down. All of those can go inside the silhouette head. Do you see what we're doing? This is what readers do. Readers preview the text. Readers steal information that is just sitting out there before they read. And that is what causes them to question, predict, and go into the passage already wondering things. And this helps you read with a purpose. This helps you have a reason to read. What's my reason? I'm looking for answers. That's my reason. This is how you get yourself to care about text you don't care about. To do reading you don't want to do. This is what readers do. Okay, so if you were in Mrs. Smecken's class, here's what I would have you do. I have another passage. It's 2 pages, but I put it on 1 page, and it's all about supersized fast food restaurant value meals, all right? And all I want you to do is what we did. I just want you to set your timer, give yourself 2 minutes. I want you to do what we did, and I want you to use the silhouette head on the next page. All I want you to do is steal details, information that's given to you in the visuals, in the subheads, in the title, anything that's boom, your eye sees visually, write it down, okay, with quick notes, text message spelling, real quick. But then I want you to do part 2, and that is, well, what are you thinking? What are you wondering? What are you predicting? Don't read the body paragraphs. All right? This is a teacher saying, don't read the body paragraphs. I just want you to have legit questions going into the reading, and we'll do that on another day. Make sense? All right. And I know you want a mask, so I gave you a mask. Oh, yeah, baby. Yeah, you want one. Cut it out and tape it to a pencil, and you can steal information like a good old information thief. Or if you don't print it out, just trace it. Make your own. All right, you guys, if you're in Miss Smecken's class, that's what we be doing. But your teacher might have a better idea.